Good morning. So I thought that I would do as promised and come out somewhere quiet and do a little bit of a herb walk and then put it on the website so other people can see. I'm very lucky at the moment to be able to still get to the orchards in Park Frankendael, and I thought it would be a good thing to take you for a little walk around there rather than walking along streets and so on. So here we are. We're in the first one that I'm sat in is called the Geranium orchard. Now, we used to have loads of wild geraniums in here, but not so many these days. So let's have a look at what we've actually got. This here is small comfrey. Now, we started off by being given some gifts of plants by the city council. So after the city council had accidentally mowed our plants a couple of times, they gave us a little package of, well, more than a little package, they gave us lots of little lovely plants to put in. Some of them took really well, some of them didn't, and this is one that took really well. Small comfrey. And if we're lucky, while I sit here, we'll be able to see one of the big bumblebees come in and have a nice drink. But it's a little bit shady where I am. So small comfrey is a relative of the bigger comfrey, which some of you may be familiar with. We've got that coming up as well, but this seems to come up really early, and it's one of the early bee feeding plants, which is a real delight to see. Really beautiful colours, but also it's very handy for the bees. Nestled into it here, you can see some wild garlic, but we'll see a lot more of that in different places. So just walking along, we've got a beautiful Artemisia plant that Caro put in, I think it was yesterday. Really lovely. This is Wormwood. It's got really soft, velvety leaves, and it's got hairs on the top and on the bottom. This is, well, Wormwood is the common name, but it's called absinthum, and it's one of the plants that gives absinthe its special flavour, the drink. I really like the flavour of it. It's very bitter. It's known to kill sort of parasites and bugs in the gut and in the blood as well. And it's really beautiful. It's a relative of sweet Annie, which is being used to treat malaria or to help in the fight against malaria. So just looking around here, we've got some strawberry plants as well. Oh, there's some in flower. Beautiful. I don't know if you can see those. Really lovely in flower already. And then we've got these beautiful blue flowers over here, blue and pink. Hopefully you can see the pattern on the leaves. Oh, and there's some bumblebees coming for it as well. Now this is Lungwort. Lungwort's a beautiful plant, and another one with early flowers that are really accessible to the bees. It's really nice to see. And Lungwort is one of those plants that used to be thought of as a healer for the lungs because the leaves look a bit like the lungs. But of course it's it's got a mildly beneficial effect on the lungs, but it's not, famed for it. Certainly not poisonous either. It's a really quite a tasty plant, but you'd only want a little bit. And of course all these that have got such beautiful flowers at the moment, it just seems a little bit criminal to harvest any of them when they're in flower, because the bees then wouldn't be able to get so much food. So I tend to stay away from those and just admire them. Maybe a tiny leaf now and again, but when the flowers have faded. Oh, what's this here? Oh, lovely. Grape hyacinth. These are beautiful. You might know these well from sort of Easter gifts and so on that people give you. The flowers, little Muscari, I think is the Latin name or the scientific name. But these little flowers here, they're really pretty. Obviously the flowers, we try not to pick any of the flowers because of the insects, but you can just take a tiny one of the little flowers and sort of put it on top of some food, and it's really quite tasty. And it's really pretty, but flowers are best left in place, I think. Oh, here's quite a big swathe of wild garlic just next to the path. Go on, let's have a look at that now. It's beautiful. They're just breaking into flower in this patch here. You can see here's a flower bud. Oh, excuse my finger there. It's from too much gardening the other day. In fact, they're quite grubby, so excuse those. But here beautiful flower head just opening. Got some closed flower heads here, all perfectly edible and really delicious and very, very garlicky. Each part sort of has a different purpose, well, for the forager anyway. This here, so this sort of tight closed bud, if you pick the whole stem, I'll do it now, I'll just go right down to the bottom there, and then I can eat the stem, but I'm going to pickle the little flower head here and just put it in some salt water, and it will make some kind of quite tasty capers. I like that very much. If you don't fancy sort of trying your luck with the salt and water, you can always just put it straight into apple cider vinegar or your favourite type of vinegar. It's very good, and they pickle very easily. The leaves obviously delicious at the moment. See what else we find that you might be finding in other places. Oh, Herb Robert, that's a nice one. Right there on the path edge, just in the sunshine. It's a member of the Geranium family, Geranium robertum. It's got a real stink to it if I rub the leaves. Oh gosh, yeah, it's a very, very strong smell. Not the most pleasant smell, but it tastes quite fine. There are some geraniums at the back. See that big, beautiful leaf with the little purple tinges. Different types of geranium in here. Again, not as many types as we used to have, but there's enough. It's beautiful. And then over here is our barefoot path. I tried to get it going again later. The first patch here, we've put some Lemonbalm in, and then some sand. Just where my shadow is there. Some pine cones, gravel, and so on, little logs. Rather lovely. Oh, now we have a little Valerian plant here, Valerian. That's nice. Not a plant that I tend to eat the leaves of. It's more one. It's better known for its roots, really, because they encourage relaxation, sleepiness. I tend to just use a few of the, well, a little bit of the leaf, tiny bit of the flowers if I get loads of flowers at home, and then put them on hot chocolate. It's rather yummy. It's got a very interesting smell as well. My cat's really into it. The elder here, see those big arching stems. It's from a cutting from one of the gardeners a few years ago. It's looking really good. Let's just stand under the cherry blossom for a minute. I was here yesterday and the cherry blossom was falling on me as I was speaking with another of the team. It's beautiful. Got some irises here that were moved in from another part of the gardens of Frankendael when they ripped out the style town, or the sort of classic garden in the middle, and we chose a few of the plants to go in here. So irises, they're not for eating at all. I just really like the look of them. I think they're really pretty. This one here, I found, let's get out of my own shadow here. This is called Alkanet, a type of Alkanet. It's again a bit like borage, a bit like comfrey. Big hairy leaves, really beautiful with some little dots on. It comes up with really pretty flowers later on. All of these my cats are really into, actually. They all taste a little bit cucumberish. Really lovely. Now sadly we can see here where somebody's been cutting the wild garlic or the Daslook with scissors, or just like ripping out a handful. I don't know if you can see it clearly enough. This is what the plant should look like. And then over here you can see where they've cut, and then the plant can't recover from that really. I mean, it's got bulbs underneath, so it can still live, but it's not going to be a very healthy plant. It just looks really rubbish as well. So maybe I'll show you the way to pick some wild garlic. So you just take one leaf and you chase it down as low as you can, and then you pluck, and that's it. And then nobody can see that you've been there.